let us understand the meaning of second function of management, that is organize. Well, do you remember what is the first function of management? Correct. Planning is the first function of the management. So at planning stage, the top management decide what is the action plan the organization will be following to achieve its objective. Once planning is set and objective is set, now the second step is organizing. That is execution of things as per the plan. Well, in organizing, the next natural thing happens, that execution of planning to achieve organization's objective. Let us understand it in a further detail. See what happens in case of organizing. In organizing, the management decide the ways and means by which it will try to achieve organization's plan and its objective. They comprises of various steps. First, as the plan is laid down in organizing, they find the ways and means. How they find the ways and means? First, they identify what are the resources are needed to achieve the planned objective. Once they identify what are the resources are needed, then they bring these resources in a workplace to achieve organization's objective. Obviously, you will ask what kind of resources have to be brought at workplace. So there are 5M of resources. 5M starting with man, money, material, machine, and method. So now what happens? Once we have a planning, now we start doing execution of plan. So we come to organizing. So in organizing, what we try to identify? The execution plan of as per the planning. At organizing, we try to find out the means and method by which the planning has been executed. Now, in order to understand those means and methods, what we do is we first identify what are the resources are needed, and then we bring those resources in a workplace in the form of 5 resources, that is man, money, machines, materials, and methods. Once we have identified and brought these resources to workplace, now what we do, we group them and arrange them in a manner such that organization's planned objective is achieved. In simple word, what is organizing? Organizing is basically synchronization and combination of the workforce, the physical, financial, and information resources in order to achieve organization's objective. So in simple word, what is organizing? Organizing is basically synchronizing and combination of workforce, physical and financial information of resources are arranged in order to achieve organization's objective. Let us take an example. What do you mean by organizing? I'll probably give you 2 examples of organizing. Well, example number 1 is we have a marriage at our place. So what happens? The top management, the father of the family, the grandfather or the elders of our family do the planning. That okay, marriage will happen at this stage and these men will be the guest and all sort of things are decided. Now the next stage is of organizing. What is organizing? We try to identify ways and means by which the plan objectives are to be achieved. So, for marriage, we try to identify now how we'll perform all the functions of marriage. For that, we do what? First, identify what are the resources needed. So now I understand that I'll be needing a panditji for the marriage. I'll be needing a chef for having a food for the marriage. I'll be needing a band people. I'll be needing workers for handling small petty works. I'll be needing a music system. So I first start identifying different resources. Now resources can be categorized into 5 ways. right? From man, money, material, machine, and method. Similarly, in the marriage also, all these resources are identified and brought together for the marriage place. Right, from men, so will require men for different works, like we need panditji, we need band wala, we need decoration wala, we need food wala, right? So all sort of things will be needing. Then we'll have to arrange money in order to make these people work for the objective or goal or for the marriage. Obviously, for food wala, we need to ensure that he'll have sufficient materials. So accordingly, we'll either purchase or we'll outsource the whole purchasing of food, even for band wala and so on and so forth. So we'll ensure that all requisite materials are available. For food wala, if certain juicer is needed, some grinder is needed, those machines are being arranged. Now, what I understand, what organizing does. Organizing is the execution of planned things. They identify ways and means by which the work has been executed in order to achieve organization's goal, starting with identifying the resources, then bringing resources to the workplace. The resources in the form of man, money, machine, materials, and methods. Once that is done, now what we do? We group them and arrange them in order to achieve the objective. So once we identify and brought resources, now understand that the kitchen department will be separate. Decoration department will be separate. Entertainment department will be separate. Marriage ritual department will be separate. So all those grouping are done and then they are arranged in a manner in order to achieve organization's objective. So in simple word, what is organizing? Organizing is basically synchronization, syncing all these elements and creating their combination. So synchronization and combination of resources in the form of workforce, physical, financial, and information resources are arranged to achieve organization's objective. Let us take one more example where all these functions of organizations or this organizing activity is done. Let's say I want to start a manufacturing company for dairy products. Dairy products are ghees, then you have milk, ice creams, then you have paneer, and so on and so forth. Now, what will I do? At a planning stage, stage one or function one of the management, I'll plan how the things will be, what will be the action plan. Once I have decided action plans, course of action, that how the whole steps will be followed, now the next step is organizing the resources as per the action plan. So what happens in case of organizing? Organizing is basically the next step of planning, that is execution as per the plan. So yes, what I'll do is I'll start executing as per the plan. So since I want to set up a dairy, now the execution will start. How the execution happens? In case of organizing, we identify the ways and means by which the plan objective is achieved. So now, at the stage of organizing, we'll identify how and which way we will be achieving or setting up the dairy products, for which from where we'll purchase the raw material, that is milk, the process, the machineries, all things, the methods. So ways and means are decided and established at the time of organizing. If I further go, what happens? We identify the resources. So in case of organizing, we first identify the resources. Okay, what are the resources are needed? So we'll need raw material, we will need men, we will need machineries to produce all those products. We should understand the methods, right? And obviously, in order to work all these things, you need to have what? Money, right? So identifying the resources and then bringing them to workplace. So now what are the resources? If I simply categorize, I'll need men, that is labor, experienced personnel. I'll need money in order to make all those resources work. Then I'll need material, that raw materials and other additives. And then I'll have what? Machines to make paneers, ghees and all. And then methods to make all these things process. So the process method. So once I identified what are the resources, now I bring those resources to workplace. So now all this has happened. Now what happens? I group them and arrange them in order to achieve organization's objective. So now the department will be separate, ghee department will be separate, paneer department making will be separate, ice cream department making will be separate, and I'll arrange them as per the need. So, in simple word, what is organizing? Well, organizing is synchronization and combination of resources in the form of workforce, physical, financial, and information of resources to be channelized in order to achieve organization's objective. In simple word, what is organizing? Well, organizing is a naturally second step of management function. That is, after planning, the execution of plan starts with organizing. Where what we do, we identify the ways or means by which the plans are to be executed. There are typically a standard set of actions happens. That first we identify what the required resources. So identifying the resources and then bringing them resources to the workplace. Now what kind of resources generally you go through? Yes, we go through 5M, that is man, money, machine, material and methods. So once we identify, we bring them those resources at the workplace. Now we do what? We group and arrange them in such a manner so that they will achieve organization's objective. In simple words, well, organizing is synchronization and a combination of workforce, physical, financial, and information of resources to achieve organization's objective.